Welcome to the 1895 podcast, the official podcast of Shelborough Football Club, and someone that doesn't need an introduction, but you'll get one anyway. Pearl Slattery, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
First time we've done it this way, we've sat down, we've put the camera out, and we had royalty coming, so we said we'd push out all the stops. Look, we'll start on Saturday. We were here for Rings and Derby against Rovers. Share the spoils in the end. What did you make of the game?
Yeah, probably looking back at it, it's probably a fair result. I think now we're getting to the stage where internally we're probably a bit disappointed that we're not turning 1 point into 3 points, but I actually do think Saturday was probably a fair result. Rovers had some good chances, they obviously had the pen out. You know, we had half chances, if you like, 1 or 2, like in any big game you get 1 or 2 big chances and we didn't really take them. Look, I think coming out of it, you'll take the draw. Obviously you want to win, but still early days, but we do know ourselves we can be better, especially in the final third. It's obviously very easy for me to say a centre back. It's not the easiest thing to do to put the ball in the net, but yeah, with the players we have going forward, I think they know as well that we could be a lot more threatening. But we've had some good performances so far this season. Again, it's just turning the good performances into 3 points. But look, still early days, but we know now you can't say that for too much longer. We have to start performing and getting the points that we deserve.
Absolutely. Right, we're going to get straight into it. I have a couple of icebreaker questions for you. We've done this with everybody. It just helps to relax me and you. Be as honest as you can. Okay. Alright, happy with that?
Yeah.
What's your favourite sport outside football?
Tennis.
Tennis. What's your favourite holiday destination?
Portugal.
This one always gets different answers. What's the best part of a fry?
Oh, sausages for me.
Tea or coffee?
Tea all day.
What way do you have your tea?
No sugar, a little bit of milk. I'm getting darker as I get older, I think.
That is an issue, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, tea all day. I'm not a coffee person at all.
Pub or nightclub?
Pub.
Drink of choice?
Blue Wicket or whiskey.
Just a bit of a jump there from one to the other. Who's the person you look up to?
My ma, I think, my whole life. She's been, a legend in my life for all of it, so yeah, I'd look up to her.
What's been your worst moment in a Shells jersey?
It's a tough one. Most recently probably, the cup final was tough, but I think in 2020 we lost a playoff 1-0 up about 15 minutes ago to win the league. That was a killer.
Do you have any superstitions?
No, not really. No, just have a normal routine for game day, stick to that and then go out and enjoy the game.
So what's the game day routine then? Because that probably is a bit of a superstition.
Yeah, like to get up in the morning, have my breakfast, I'd normally go on a little walk, just a little 10-15 minute walk, then you get to Tolka and it's game on, you're in the dressing room, normal stuff, wouldn't really, or be giving me boots a little clean in the dressing room with a few baby wipes and out to warm up.
You're not one of these certain sock has to go on first and you have
Jesus.
to
No.
Throw your jersey inside now, that's Ben Cleary dropping his phone in the background there.
No, probably like same sports bra now I'd wear for probably most games coming into the season, to be honest. Little things like that, but no, definitely not the same socks.
None too major.
No.
What's been your best moment in the Shells jersey up to now?
There's been many, but I think the 2021 league win here was very special.
It was, that was a mental year.
That was mad.
Look, again, any player we've had on here, it's always been, I like to go back because I think it offers a lot. We're guilty supporters of just looking at the player in the jersey and maybe not looking at the person that's behind that player. So, first of all, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Dolphins Barn in Dublin in the flats. So my ma is from Fatty Ma, my dad was from the barn. And then we moved to Dolphins Barn, so that's where I lived till I was about 8. And then we moved to Rialto, but I mean the flats are here. And the house is at the back of the flats basically, so I didn't really move.
Not much of a move.
No, but yeah, I loved growing up in Dolphins Barn.
When did football start?
My ma said the minute I could walk, I had a football by my side. There was no other competition with any other sports. It was just, she said, anytime she looked at me as a young girl, I had football at my feet, and then obviously out in the flats all the time, out on the road with the boys and the sand pitch, just constantly as a young girl. Yeah.
Was there anyone any influence on you football wise, or was it just something you randomly picked up? Friends, family, or that was football orientated?
No, my ma played a little bit. She played a little bit of all sports, similar with my dad, but nobody really that No, my ma just said I came out and I was just football mad, and then obviously out in the flats on the road, as I said, she just said I loved it. Like, you know, I would have been watching Liverpool and that from a young age with my uncles and my dad and stuff, but nobody really that I kind of looked up to her, and I just loved playing, being out constantly. You know, back then, no iPads, no internet, so you were out constantly.
We're going to sell involved, street football, all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, making ourselves sound
the
very
gates
old.
were goals in between the flats and stuff like that. That's the way I go.
So what's your earliest memory? What's kind of if you think of being a kid and football, what's the first kind of thing you think of?
Yeah, probably in the sand pitch in Dolphins Barn. That's where I grew up. That's where I played, in the blocks. You know, there was grass in between the blocks in Dolphins Barn, hoodies down, matches in there. My ma said, like, could never get me in as a youngster. So in the sand pitch or in between the blocks, playing football constantly.
Is it still there?
The sand pitch is still there, yeah, but it's kind of gone now. They've built like an old folks home on it and stuff like that. And
it's sad, isn't it? Like, looking back and stuff like that, such a big kind of, probably a big part of your upbringing.
Yeah, that's where I spent nearly every day, like with the lads. I was one of the lads growing up, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, the sand pitch would have been.
So, what's a young Pearl like in school?
You
can be honest.
Yeah, a bit mad. I wasn't mad at the school now. Thank God for football, as they say. Obviously, very lucky to work with football now, and look, football is everything to me. I eat, breathe, sleep it, so I'm very thankful for it. But I was never mad at the school. I obviously finished. I got my leaving cert, but it was more so just about football constantly for me.
So when did you move from? What was it you said? The sand pitch, was it? It's called?
Sand pitch, yeah, in Dolphins Barn.
So when did you move from that kind of jumpers for goalposts, casual kind of football you call it, when did you move into structured, like a team?
Yeah, so Fighting My Boys at the time, you know where the Lewis line is now, the Rialto stop, that used to be an old canal with grass on it. So Fighting My Boys had a team there, and as I said, I grew up a lot of the boys in the flat, so like from very early I was one of them. I was just always Pearl with the boys, and then they were all joining Fighting My Boys, and I joined the team with them, and I played with them till I was 15. And then I think when I was the age of 8, after playing about a year with the boys, Temple Oaks, someone from Temple Oaks spotted me playing with the boys and got me up to them. So in the summer I played at Temple Oak, and then in the winter I was playing with the boys.
Did you notice growing up, like now there's girls teams everywhere? I'd say most, if not all, the football clubs in Dublin have girls teams as a kind of a separate thing under one banner. Like, did you ever, when you were a young kid playing with the boys, did you ever look at it and say, oh, I wish I could play for a girls team? Or was there ever a thought like that, or were you just so, it was just the norm for you?
Yeah, like times have changed now, and you'll probably think, well, why did you play for Temple Oak? Because nowhere in Dublin 8 or Dublin 12 at the time had a girls team. So as I said, very early, you know, I had obviously female friends from school and stuff, but I was just with the lads non-stop. I played with them, and even when my mum had told me that, you know, Temple Oak had come in for me, I didn't actually know that there was, you know, girls teams, and people always speak about Ireland and stuff like that. I actually never grew up inspiring to play for Ireland, because that just wasn't there at the time. You know, there was no role models or publicity now that's it's getting. For me, it was just going out training on a Tuesday, Thursday with the lads. That was it for me, or being out on the street every single day playing with them. That was.
It's funny now you're saying that, like, we're not all that different in age, it's not that big a gap, but I don't ever remember seeing women's football on the telly when I was a kid. No, I genuinely couldn't tell you. Now, like, you see like ex-Ireland internationals and stuff at games, and they're getting recognised for appearances and stuff, and you just, I don't know who they are. And it's terrible to think, like, it's not all that long ago really that,
no,
and there was just none of it anywhere. So when you, what age were you when you moved to Temple Oak?
Probably about 8.
And that was still with a mixed team, or was that a girls team?
No, that was fully girls team. Yeah,
that was fully girls. So did you have a bit of an edge, do you think? Maybe physically a bit more of an edge from having played with the boys for so long?
Yeah, definitely did. I was a striker at the time, funnily enough. I've been getting deeper and deeper as years have gone on. But I constantly played with the boys. So when I went actually up to the girls, I was flying. Like, my ma has loads of articles from years ago where, you know, Becca Cray at the time playing with Temple Oak. We were one of the, you know, I suppose good clubs at the time. We were flying at a few underage teams, and we were a really good team at the time. But yeah, like when I went up to Temple Oak, it was a bit of a breeze for me, because I was just, I mean, so resilient after being playing with the boys for a few years. So yeah, it was a breeze, but I loved it.
So playing with that all girls team, I remember, I'm fairly sure when I interviewed Rebecca, she mentioned as well that it was like it was a strong out team.
Yeah.
Must have been winning stuff to beat the band race.
Yeah, we were like loads of, as I said, old newspaper articles at home and tiny and little trophies and just beating a lot of teams in cup finals and stuff, and obviously that makes it then when you're growing up.
Any of them in particular stick out? Any particular cup wins, or is there too many?
We played a cup final in the ring, in Sundrive Park.
Yeah.
There's actually great photos of in the ring. That was obviously a pitch at the time, and that kind of stands out to me because it was quite local for me. Obviously, you'd be doing a lot of travelling back then, and I remember even back then, like we wouldn't have had a car, so my mum literally brought us everywhere, and I constantly remember hail, rain or snow, she was at my pitch side, and it was lovely because I know she was buzzing at the time that I was in the ring and it was local and get a few of the family up and stuff, so that kind of memory would stick out.
That's a few times now you mentioned your mother already. How important do you think, even just as a young player, having a parent going to games and kind of supporting you, because it's not always a done thing a lot of the times, like, you just be sent on the bus or find your own way. How important do you think your mother's been just for keeping you and encouraging you, because not everyone is encouraged into it?
Yeah, and look, she's massive. I have 3 sisters and I don't think any of us would be where we are today without her, but as I said, I was probably 8 in that game, 8 or 9. It was lashing rain in Templeogue, I remember, and I can still see the image of her under an umbrella, and I mean bucketing down probably with hail. And as I said, from the age of 8 to 18 I played with Templeogue, but obviously till I was about mid-teens or teens she would have travelled with me on buses. Said she didn't drive at the time, so I mean I wouldn't be here today without her. I wouldn't have those experiences of being able to play for Templeogue if she wasn't busting it with me. Where fighting my boys is quite local, so I could just walk the train and walk to the games up in the roundabout, but I needed her for Templeogue. So, and look, she was always very stand back, she wasn't really, wouldn't get in my face, I wouldn't be, she'd just kind of stand back and watch and let me enjoy it. And I think that's really important, that just let the kids enjoy. That's where I got, and that's probably why I've loved and stayed in it for so long.
Everyone hates this question. Mark Coyle visibly started to blush when I asked him this. When did you realise I'm actually fairly good at this? Because usually people can go back to like a game or a season where they kind of go, I kind of...
It was probably later for me than most. Like you see a lot of the young girls coming up now, and as I said, when I was growing up, I played at Templeogue till I was about 18. I was in a few Leinster squads, Dublin squads, but again there was no real, I never really heard of underage Ireland or senior Ireland at that time, and played with Catchants, played with Templeogue till I was 18, moved to Catchants then for a season, and I've always kind of wanted to go to the States. I went to the States for 2 years, and then I came back, played a season with Raheny, and came back in and started to do well, really well then. The league started to build, and I think that's when you start to think, right, I'm at the level for League of Ireland and stuff. But throughout my teens I just kind of played to enjoy it. As I said, I never really inspired to play for Ireland, or League of Ireland didn't exist. It was when I was in the States the league came about, and then you come home, you think, right, can I get into it, and kind of started from there then.
Do you think it would have panned out differently for you if you were a kid coming through now with all the coaching and the opportunities? Would you have been a different player, do you think?
I think so, yeah. Well, I don't, you never know, do you? But I mean, I always say to our young girls even, I don't think they actually realise what they have at the moment. It's only when we speak to them about playing league games in local parks for years, like there was no publicity, nothing, like the education, the nutrition side of things, the coaching, as you said, just the level of detail. Even later on now in my career, like doing your coaching badges, all that stuff like that was not heard of years ago. So when you're picking those things up along the way, or what the young girls are getting now, obviously helps. But I wouldn't change a thing. Like, everything happens for a reason. And
I had a question there, and it was like, what goals did you have as a kid playing football? But you sound like you were just playing. You didn't really have a plan as such. Just out and play. Whereas now those younger girls can kind of something to aim for. There's a national league, there's underage setups. Did you ever? You mentioned a couple of squads, like representative squads. Did you ever get into an Ireland squad underage?
It's now, and as I said, I've grown up. The young girls now have all that at their their feet, really. If they're a top player, that's there for them. But I just didn't. And look, there's pros and cons to that. I've seen young girls come in and out of squads and it'd be detrimental to them. Where I had my teens were just, I played football because I loved it. And then when I came back from the States, I came back at Christmas. I'd done like 3 years over there, and it was mid-season, and Raheny were the top side. Noel, Rebecca Cray, Rachel, Megan Campbell. And I remember Jerry McDermott texted me saying, look, come over and train, Sean Bourne's kind of thing. And I thought, no, I'm not coming in mid-season. And, you know, I was deciding to not go back to the States, so my head was a bit wrecked about that. Anyway, I went up and trained, and 2 weeks in, and it wasn't obviously still very early. But I'll never forget, we went out to Peamount to play, and absolutely bolted, bucking in the snow. And I'm sitting on the bench thinking, what have I done here coming home, not getting into this team? It's an unbelievable team. Katie and stuff was in it, you know.
It's not until you look back through those squads and realise what team it was.
What have I done, you know? But it was funny, like 3 weeks in, we had a cup game midweek, and Ciara Grant was missing at work, and Sean said to me, look, I was playing in the six at the time, and he said to me, you know, this is your chance to get in. And it's a mad story, like, 'cause I played that night, I was doing really well. I remember Megan Campbell was playing centre half behind me, and coming into the second half, and the UCD players broke her leg, and like the game was abandoned, and I'm thinking, the one chance I get, and I've got a half. But in fairness, Sean was really impressed that night, and I played every game since for him. But that season, there was, you know, I remember Sean had said to me, like, you're really close to getting a call up. That was probably one of the best seasons I played. But kept hearing, you know, that you'll get a call in, and Sue actually rang me and said about going to award shooting games, and I just couldn't. I was only home, you know, I think it was about $5,000 to go or something. I was like, can't go type of thing. But Sean kept saying, look, they're watching you, keep doing what you're doing. But look, that call never came. But it wasn't something that I dwelled on. I didn't think, you know, the following week after I heard of the interest, I wasn't thinking, where is it? Again, my mindset is always just to play and enjoy it. I loved playing with Raheny at the time, and that's obviously everyone would love to play for their country, but it's also very, very small pool of players. Even to be mentioned in that light, I was very humbled by. But as I said, never got bogged down on it. It was just next training session for me, next game, let's go type thing.
Right, so rewind a little bit. You've mentioned America a couple of times. When does that become like a realistic kind of option? Because it was probably similar to like the growth of the league here, in that like it's common enough now for girls and boys to go to America, or for that to be a goal. If my own friends are over there coaching and playing, was that a common thing then?
Yeah. To
go across, that was kind of the next step for you. When did it come about? When was the first mention of it?
Probably when I finished school, I went into Closh Ida. So you know that course was based around scholarships with Danny and Jim, and I think I had 1 or 2 offers at the end of that and didn't take her up that time. And there was a female FOSS course. I just did every course that had football. Seriously, that's what I did. But I went to a female FOSS course for a year. Loved it. Like, we're doing classes every morning, training with Harry Kenny and Thomas. Brilliant sessions. So I did that for a year, and then got an offer to go over to Kansas, believe it or not, with an Irish coach. And I thought, you know what, I'm ready to go now. And around that time period, we were all kind of looking to go to the States. You heard, you know, it wasn't really about college for me, it was about experience in America. The women's game was huge over there, so I thought, why not? I've nothing to lose. Don't really know what I want to do other than football, so why not give it a go? Like.
And what age have you been there? 18? Around that kind of age?
No, I was actually a bit older. I was about 2021. Because I had the 2 years of the courses where I decided not to go.
Yeah, so you didn't come straight. I get you. So was there, like, when that offer comes in officially, is it just, I'm going? Was there any kind of, I don't know if I can leave my man, my family, or was it just, because I know everyone is different in that scenario. Some people overthink it, other people are just, here, I'll just go, see what happens. What way were you leaning?
It was a bit of both. Like, you never really want to leave your family, your friends, and what you have going on. But as I said, like, the Women's National League wasn't up and running then. So it was just a normal league. There was nothing really keeping me here. So I thought, well, why not give it a bash? I was moving miles away. I ended up lasting about 3.5 years, and then you kind of come home and you think, oh my God, what am I going to do when the league is starting? And that's where FAI, all that sort of stuff starts to snowball for me then. So
what was the difference when you went over, like standard wise and just the facilities? Was it just like black and white?
In Kansas, I went over, it was like the hottest summer in 40 years.
Yeah, it's like,
that's typical me now coming over. But just our physicality, they're all athletes. Like, technically we were there, but it took, like, what I was blessed. Look, not everyone's experience is great, but when I went to Kansas, you know, we one of the best groups I've ever been involved in. I've only just been with the girls there a few months ago, seeing them in Colorado. We're still best of mates. They come and see me and that. So I was just very lucky with the girls we had. And fortunately for us, it was only a 2-year school. If it had been a 4-year school, I don't know if I'd ever came home. But with 2 years over there. But yeah, like the thing, you go over, I've never done a tougher pre-season. I thought I was a track athlete. We were running that much, but it really changed my mindset into Jesus, if you are a lot fitter, because technically we had it, so it just took me a few weeks to get used to the heat, get fitter, and then when that started to come, you start to play well. And then after Kansas, another Irish coach came in, and I moved to Atlanta then for a year.
Were you a midfielder at that stage?
Yeah, I was 6. Yeah.
So a 6, you're doing a lot of moving around.
I was
that kind of heat, yeah.
Yeah, I was 6 at the time.
So your first year college football, how did it go? Like on the pitch wise?
It was really good. Like first few weeks, you know, they're rotating a lot with the heat and stuff, and then obviously when it comes to the final end of things, I was playing a lot. And as I said, there was about 11 internationals at the time. I was actually the only Irish, but a few English, a few Scottish, so I was very lucky, and then a good mix of Americans. It went really well. We'd won our local JUCO league and stuff like that, and I think we just missed out on nationals. But the 2 years in Hutch, you know, I loved it. No regrets going there. The biggest regret is that I had to leave it and leave the group, and we all had to kind of scatter. And I went to Atlanta with one of the other girls. She was from England, Alicia, and yeah, we continued then.
So what did you study while you were there?
Sports management.
Was that hard? Because I know, isn't there a bit of pressure on you, like to kind of keep
your
levels
up? You have to have your grades and stuff. And like as I said to you, I wasn't the best. I didn't go over thinking I want a degree in this. I was actually just thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be training every day. I'm going to be playing twice a week in college football, Wednesday and Saturday. I'm living the dream, like, you know. And probably look back, I probably could have took classes and that more serious. And when I went to Atlanta, I actually came home in the summer, and I played with the summer league with Raheny at the time and tore my groin. So I went to Atlanta injured, and I look back at that year and probably think I probably should have redshirted. So I was just all over the place because I was in and out with injury, and then that's when that Christmas I decided. So
redshirted, is that your part of the squad but you're not registered to play?
Exactly.
You're just training?
Yeah, just training and getting prepared for the following year, where I'd missed the first few. You know, it's ruthless over there. Like I'd flown in, I'll never forget it. And obviously I was at JUCO, and this was a university. I think I left Ireland at like 6 AM and got there like a day later, and you're flown in and you're thrown into a little box room. It's like, go get your bed and go get you, and you're up at 6 AM for fitness tests, and it's like you're just a very small fish in a big pond then. And I'll never forget the next morning I grew up and like bleed tests, you know, laps around the campus, and I was riddled with, like, I tore my groin completely for Raheny, but because it was my first day, I was like, you know, I'm not pulling out of this. And never forget sitting on the medical bed and one of the girls walked by and was like, injured already, like, and that really got to me because I'd never shy away with my pre-season and stuff. But I look back at that year, I had some good spells. Like, I got in for a few weeks and the Irish coach really liked me, but my groin just didn't let up. I was in for a few weeks out, and then Christmas came and I was like, do you know what, the league had started, there was a good buzz, and I was thinking, no, will I go back for it? And I just felt right to stay at home. I don't know, and I was very scared when I got home because I had nothing really laid out for me.
Yeah, so did you got your degree while you were over there, did you?
No.
Did you finish it? No.
Yeah. So that was scary
so
for me.
So you were literally coming home with kind of nothing.
Yeah.
And I know from experience with people, like if you come home, you literally have nothing.
Yeah, it was a big call, and I never forget getting home, and you obviously enjoy your Christmas, and look, the college wanted me to go back, the coach wanted me to, but they were doing everything to get me back and to finish it, and I just don't know, I think everything happens for a reason. And obviously the first few weeks you're like, what I do, that's when I decided then go over and train with Sean, which was the best decision I could have made. And look, I worked in the Board Flanagan for years, so every time I came home at Christmas or somewhere I worked in the pub, so I kind of had that, but I didn't want to be a bar girl or a lounge girl forever.
Yeah.
So there was a few times I sat at home thinking, Jesus, what am I going to do here? And that's when a course came up, Stephen Rice, all that, and yeah, he had a great impact on me then to get me where I am today, I suppose.
So the league, you mentioned the year you came back, the league kind of, was that the very first year of the National League? I think
we entered one of the year before, and then I came into kind of the second year.
That was, I think the first year was only like 6 teams or something.
Something like that, yeah.
So it must have been a bit of a shock for you to come home, where when you left you were just playing in the smaller league, I suppose you call it, and all of a sudden
like
you come home and you come home and next thing is this National League, and were teams playing in stadiums and stuff at that stage, or was it still kind of?
Not a lot, like we were playing in Morton.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of the stadium towards some of the grounds. You were playing in Peamount, we were playing in Peamount, trying to think of the other teams at the time, but no, I wouldn't have been League of Ireland grounds at the time, no. And
how did you adapt to the football, just the football part of it, because obviously you've been at a good level in America, you came home, did you struggle to kind of fit back into it? Was it that much different to the American way of playing?
I came back a lot fitter because the 3 years in America, you know, even when I wasn't in the States and I was at home, it just turned you into some sort of, you just knew you had to be in good nick. So I came back fit. My own thing was my own self-doubt, walking into a squad of that size, the people that were in it, it's just a quality team. So it was me more so getting over that, and then once I settled in and got around the girls again, I was grand. And once you get into the team, then it helps.
You were saying there about a bit of self-doubt, and 3 cup wins on the spin probably helps put that to bed a little bit, does it for you?
Yeah, I think everyone has a bit of self-doubt, you know. I've always said it, every year, even coming to Shells and I'm captain, I never take my jersey for granted. I always have that mentality of nobody's taking my jersey. I've been around the game a long time, things can change very quick. So I think that kind of self-doubt and never settling is a good thing. And that's the way I've always kind of been as a player.
So did it help you coming back to like a successful team? Because you could have came back and like there was a big gulf in that league that year. There was kind of a couple of teams at the top and everyone else was kind of miles back. Do you think it helped you came into a successful team and you obviously knew some of the girls from beforehand? Would it have been a different experience, you think, if you just got landed into new players, new staff, new everything?
Yeah, it could have been. I could have, like as I said, I could have went back to the, you know, the local teams or something easier if I wanted. And fairness to Jerry McDermott, like he really believed in me. I probably would have sat at home and waited till the season was out. Not that I wanted to do that, but it was more so, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get in. But he really pushed me, you know, to go over. And then you go over, I knew some of the girls, Rach, Becca, Noelle, the Katies, the Megans, Neem. Like there was some squad, Callow, Mary Waldron, Megan Campbell. It was just Ciara Grant. Like
it is mad. I look back through the
names. That's how good they were. Like, you know. I
look back through the 11s of that Raheny team playing the finals. It is mad when you look at it.
Yeah.
Like it's the level that group was at was just crazy. One of those cup finals you scored in, I think, didn't you?
Did I?
Yeah, I think
for
you did.
Raheny?
Yeah. Unless my research is wrong, could well be.
My memories.
I'd say I'm probably wrong because I'm sure you would have remembered scoring in the cup final. No?
I probably should have, yeah, but I don't think I did. A lot of them were in the Aviva.
Yeah. That's.
A lot of them were in the Aviva. I only remember Noelle scoring, Katie scoring. Don't know if I did.
Scored extra time you did, but yeah.
Did I?
Yeah, apparently you did.
Jesus, if I did, and I've just getting really old.
Too many headers, maybe. You mentioned their cup finals in the Aviva, and look, we were there a couple of years ago, the men's team for the final, and it was an amazing experience for us, just as supporters being there. What's it like, just walking out that tunnel, like in that, because it's such a vast arena. Like it's not till you are on the pitch you realise how big it is around you. And what's that feeling like? Like what's your mindset in that tunnel, waiting to come out, play a cup final in front of family, friends, RTE cameras, the whole lot?
It's incredible. And like before States, as I said, those cup finals were in local parks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you come home, it's the Aviva, all of a sudden it's live on TV, and I don't think any of us will forget Air Force One. It's just, I mean, it's a national stadium, isn't it? And you're walking out, your family and friends are there. And like obviously the debate in the most recent years is the crowd, the atmosphere, but like that doesn't really matter when you're playing on that pitch. It's just, it's quality, like, you know.
I was going to ask you that. There's chatter around that all the time that like it shouldn't be in the Aviva because you can nearly hear the echo coming back at you. And I know one of the cup finals you played in, the cup final, the men's cup final, obviously came on after, and that wasn't a particularly well supported final either. But you as a player, from a player point of view, it must be very hard to say, oh no, it should probably be played in Tala.
Like nothing beats a national stadium. Like obviously the mess of the men's, because the early kick-off, I remember one of the years we went into extra time at Penhouse, and as the Penhouse were going on, the men's were coming out and warming up.
Yeah, they were down the far end. Yeah, I remember
like,
that. Yeah.
But at the time, like there was a lot of dramatics about that. But as a player, I didn't even notice that they were behind me. I was more focused on. And in fairness, because the kick-offs were so close towards the end of our game, the extra time was brilliant because all the other fans are coming in, and that you create that atmosphere. Like nothing will be playing in the Aviva, but I think the last few years in Tala have been special. The support we've got and stuff. I'll never forget the 2021 when we walked out with the flares and the banner. Like some of that stuff is stuff I'd never thought I'd ever see in the female game. Never mind for us being a part of it.
While we're on it, it's for the perfect time to. The last couple of years, in this club in particular, and look, it's easy to say because we're involved here, but it's caught on here for. Obviously the success on the pitch helps. The characters that are involved in the squad definitely help with it. Say at Tolka Park and the support you lended to that all helped gather a bit of momentum. But what's it like coming out here on a Saturday when, like, it's no disrespect to other clubs, but they don't really get a crowd. It's still that same kind of, you know, family and friends are there watching, but like to come out and the Ballybock end there, and we won't mention pyro now, but like there's colour, there's flags, there's banners everywhere. What's that like?
Yeah.
Just on a weekly basis now at this stage.
It's been amazing. Like, Talca is home to us. I think we won our first league title with Shells 2015-16, and then we'd like a 4 or 5 year gap where, as I said, we lost the playoff. We were under Dave Bell and Danny probably 2 or 3 points away from winning the league during that period, and then 2021 happens in that mad year, and I actually think that year is the turning point for the club. I remember the Peamount game here, the 4-3. I think that was a real game that captivated everybody's hearts around the club. That, you know, even on social media after that game, kept seeing people saying, "Get out and support this team, they're worth it," that type of thing. And I think it just snowballed, like that game, the late winner, the celebration.
That game started because it was one of the first games I'd been to here, and I brought my little one and my girlfriend and all came, and it was mayhem in the stand. It was like a Friday night, and I don't mean that as a slight, but it felt like the same thing. It felt like it was all one. I think that was the game. Was it Jesu went on a mad celebration at the end, jumped up on the rails, the whole lot?
Well, scored literally the last kick of the game. It was some game, 4-3, both teams giving everything. Like, talk about rivalries at the time, it was the biggest. But I felt that was a turning point, I really did. And obviously throughout that 2021 season, you know, we had the late winner against Boas, and then the final game of the season. But as you mentioned, like, Save Talca Park, and obviously when we heard about that, like, the first thing you kind of think of is why are they getting rid of it? And you don't really, like, you're kind of told as players, oh, don't really get involved, and then you're like, no, we want to get involved. Because for me, Shane Dawson, all years, I started to get to know everybody, and then you realise actually it's home to us, but it's actually much more to people when you get to know them. It's like family who are here, family who are gone, and then you think, Jesus, this is really touching, and you're like, we want to be a part of it, we want to help save. Obviously I was part of that night, the Save Talca Park. But I actually think that year our football did our best piece of trying to save it, and I've always said to the girls, if we've 1% helping saving Talca Park that year, you know, it's the best thing you'll ever do. But I actually think the football games, the TG Cahart, the excitement of them, because, you know, if we'd have lost Talca, the two teams, the two men's teams were playing Daily Mount, where were the two women? We were probably going to go back to the AOL, and those games, you know, the 4-3, the late one against Bows, the game of the season against Wexford to win it, the dramatics of the trophy being in Peamount, like, they deserve to be in grounds like Talca. But I do think our football actually had a big impact in the campaign as well. So then to win it on the final night, the way, you know, like, there's mad stories of that year. I don't know if you knew about obviously the week before with the DLR game, the Peamount game.
No, you're going to enlighten us now. So you're going to let people in on something that knows about
that. Like, I don't know, it was probably the third game out from the season we were playing in Cork. I remember it. It's just, there's some mad stories to that year, but playing in Cork, and a player came up to me and stepped beside me and said, and obviously, like, this is no harm to anybody and not trying to throw anybody under the bus, but said, look, the club have obviously agreed to let Peamount play DLR in 2 weeks' time, or next week, for the game that could win them the league, like, you know. And I just smoke came out of my ears. I was thinking, like, what are we doing here? Like, what? I couldn't even, we were playing Cork that day, and thank God we won, but I couldn't even concentrate on the game because I had heard this. Because for me as captain, the girls are amazing, obviously the staff, we give everything every single week for teams not to get anything at Talca, not to get a point, us obviously to win, but we want people dread coming here to make it as tough as possible. And then the club had, you know, said yes to Peamount and DLR to play in Talca, and the Peamount won. They were going to win the league, and obviously after the game I went running up to someone and I was like, what's going on here? And look, obviously I got a bit heated, and then they were kind of like, look, we actually didn't know it meant that much. And I kind of said, look, we give everything. Can you imagine if Peamount had won it and they're running around Talca, they're sitting in their dressing room, right? And it continues. The club are like, what are we going to do here? And I'm like, I don't care what you do. If I have to sit in the middle of Talca Park that day, it's not happening. Like, when it's not. So obviously a lot of back and forth, and then obviously Mark, I obviously work in the FAI, I have great respect for Mark and what they've done for the league. And me and Mark had like a tough convo because we both had our own sides. Like what I was saying, look, we give everything not to lose or anything in Talca. We don't want them in our dressing room winning. And he was kind of saying, look, it was obviously for TG Cahart. You know, Peamount couldn't. So
that's what it was. It was just optics. It was, they didn't want the trophy lift.
Peamount couldn't host TG Cahart because they didn't have a stand, and I'm like, you know, that's no offense, that's not our problem. Like, and look, me and Martin, he's like, you know, we could lose, TG Carr here, blah blah blah, and I'm like, anywhere but Talca, there has to be another ground. And like, there was a long convo, they got off the phone, I'm thinking, you know, this is tough. But anyway, it ends up, doesn't happen, they get some sort of stand for Peamount, and I'll never forget, we were playing Bows that day, we beat them, and I'm at a gig that night, and you're kind of checking, just thinking Peamount's going to beat DLR in Peamount, you know what I mean? And you see it's nil all at half time, and funny enough at the gig I bumped into Gav White, and he's like, no, still 0-0, and I'm like, yeah, long way to go. And then I'm coming out of the gig and you check and it ended 0-0, and then it's only a few days later you realise they'd missed a penalty and stuff, and then you're thinking, right, go into the last weekend, it's gone to the wire now. They were playing Galway, we were playing Wexford, and funnily enough, like that week of training, it was probably the worst week of training we've had. Monday night we trained for 40 minutes behind the goal. Wednesday times are changed, girls missed, it was a mess, and we were training in Grange Gorman on the Friday night, and I remember some of the parents and us walking out as a group of girls thinking, imagine Galway actually beat Peamount. We were all just kind of laughing and joking and not thinking.
Yeah.
I'm leaving the house on the Saturday into Talca, I bump into my brother-in-law, he's like, you never know, and I'm like, stop will you, we'll just... And I just said to the girls that night, look, forget about everything else, we do our job, and then look, what we experienced on the pitch when the goals were going in the other game is something I'll never forget. It's probably one of the best nights I've ever had here. Yeah,
it was mad because I remember there was like people shouting into the stand, and the stand were shouting back out, giving score updates, and I wasn't here. I had the little one, so I couldn't even be down, and TG Carr had like a split screen kind of thing
on. Yeah, it's supposed to be unbelievable.
It was just, it was incredible.
The game, look, the game itself, we're winning 2-0, I think, we're cruising, and for having such a disaster of a week of training, we played unbelievable. Like, I remember, I think Adele Kennedy was in goal for Wexford that night, and look, we just played so well. And I'll never forget, coming in at half time, Jess Sue comes running over to me and now starts screaming at me that the Peamount game's 2-2, and I didn't even know they were 2-0 up, and I'm like, Jess, forget about it, another half to go. You come out, I think we go 3-0 up or 3-1, and then like we're on the pitch and I just start hearing, you know, bangings of cheers, and I'm kind of looking going, what's going on here, like, you know, you haven't got a clue on the pitch. And then as so shells, Wexford start coming on top then, and then I heard just another really, really loud noise, and I kind of looked over to Kieran King to say, what's going on here? And he just put 4 and 2 to Galway up, and like I would never get like lightheaded, or my legs were starting to go from beneath me, because we're 3-1 up, and then obviously a few minutes later Wexford score, go 3-2, and then some hilarious stories, like I'm literally pulling Kylie Murphy, telling her like, stop playing. Literally Sinead Taylor comes running on, I'm like, I'll buy a pint for the year, just do nothing, they're losing, we're winning. And they're like, bro, we can't stop playing, like we can't stop. And then look, it's just, I turned to Claudia Stacky at one stage, I said we're 5 minutes away to win the league, and she hadn't got a clue, she just thought the fans were cheering for the game. And she's like, are Peamount losing? And I was like, they've lost, like. And Chloe's face, I'll never forget, I remember thinking, Jesus Christ, should I have told her, like, because everyone's heads was, but look, just to see that out and the feeling of it, it's just amazing. So
obviously the club changed from, like, it merged, Raheny and Shells kind of merged, but at that stage it was still Shells Ladies. I always remember that coming, like all the scores on Shells Ladies, and then it changed and it was just Shells, just across the board. What did you feel a difference, like as a captain of the team? Did you feel at that point something is different here, like something's building, because we're kind of together as one? Did you feel before that it was like the women's team was here and the men's team was here? Did it feel that way?
Yeah, it was very separated. Like we played in Morton, obviously when we merged, then we moved to the AUL, and it was like you wouldn't have really seen the lads, you wouldn't have really had a clue what was going on at the club, if I'm honest. And then when, as you said, you get rid of the ladies, you come under the one banner, you move to Talca, now you're really starting to feel part of it. And then obviously when you're competing and you're going for trophies, that obviously helps the fans. I mean, how they've made us feel as a group over the last few years, even as I said, some of the stuff, the banners, the flares, the crowds, the stickers, and I forget some of the girls seeing themselves on stickers for the first time, little things that we honestly never really, and I actually think we're the standard setters for that in the league, and people could say what they want about other clubs and stuff, we've done that. And it's only when I think we'll look back as a group of players when we retire, try not to get bogged down on it now, because I want more. You always want more as a group, and I'm not going to look, but I definitely think the club have been standard setters in that, and like the fans have made us feel part of it, made us all feel like we mean something to them and stuff, like that's very special.
Is that, like, you mentioned there when you were a kid, you were just playing football. You weren't really, there was no goal, there was no end game. It was just go out and play. Like, it must be a mad feeling now. Even like if you walk past the riverside, like you're being stopped and you're like, what does that feel like to go from like that, a young girl where there was no girls playing football on telly, there was definitely no girls on stickers at that stage. Like, what's that feeling like, just being even noticed around the place, I suppose? Because you're probably the most recognisable Shell's face there is now. For so long, yourself and Luke were obviously the two captains, and I counted there, you're on more than half of the posters outside, and like, is there a pressure with that? Does a pressure come with being the captain, or is it just water off your back?
Yeah, look, I think the years we weren't winning titles and stuff, I felt the pressure. You just do, because I actually, when we win things or when we lose, it's the girls I feel for. When we're winning things, I'm obviously chuffed for the girls, and that's where 2021 I felt like the bricks were off the shoulders, and you know. But as you said, like when you walk around Talca, we're all noticed and stuff like. But the club has been a constant in my life for the last 9 or 10 years. I've probably given every inch of my soul and my body to the club, to the role, but to be noticed is still a bit mad. And a lot of people always say, look, you won't really realise what you've done, and as I said, till you've gone. And sometimes it is a bit mad when people are, as I said, like calling you for photos or autographs. And as you said, like when we're walking around Talca on Friday night or through town, even a few times you've been called. I've been with some of my friends who wouldn't be mad into football, and you're called and they're like, they're Shelbourne lads, like, you know, or just little things like that you never thought. As you said, when I was a young girl, I just played because I loved it, and as I said, now you feel like you're just part of something so big that you never really could have imagined.
Your role as the captain, and like it's a young players league. It's probably fair to say at the moment, like the amount of young girls coming through playing the National League is incredible at the moment. Do you feel a pressure in that to be a role model for those type of girls coming through, or is it just a case of if they're going to come and play with the first team here, just fit in?
Yeah, no, I just love bringing them along. I love to see young girls coming up from the academy, and I think I've always said it in interviews, like when they come into the dressing room, they're treated like a senior player, and I don't mean that in a harsh way. I mean that out of the best respect for them, because they deserve it. They're good enough. I'm very one, if they're good enough, forget about age, and we've seen that over the years with all the youngsters that have come up and played, and honestly they help us as much as we help them, because their fearlessness and just going out and playing. Sometimes as a senior player you can overthink, or some of the young girls wouldn't get the rivalries or stuff that has happened previously, and they kind of give us that sense of freedom. So I just love bringing them along, even you know when they're training during the week in the academy and you're saying hello to the 17s and 19s. You know, that's what I love, and I love when they come into the dressing room, they've come up from the club. I get great joy in that, and that's where it was great with two lads coming in, Owen and Rory, because they've been a part of it, they know it. It's really important for a young girl at the club to inspire to play for the seniors, because like that, I never really had that, so they have that, and just kind of want them to play for the club. And as I said, it's even better when they're coming up through the academy. But as I said, yeah, when they come into the dressing room, you know, speak up, be yourself, and that's actually just me giving them the highest of respect, because they deserve it. Like,
playing, as you mentioned there when you came home with Rahini and stuff like that, there's still so many of the players playing now in the team that you played with when you were that young. Doesn't happen very often. Does that make it easier, do you think, like those tough times you mentioned, the Barron spell where it didn't really win anything? Is it easier when you're kind of pals with everybody, and you know, is it easier to maybe move on because everyone is just pals, you're kind of, it's arm around the shoulder type stuff, or is there more pressure and because you are buddies? It's a strange dynamic. I know that myself from like playing with your friends can be difficult. Sometimes it's easier if they're off to the side, but I'd say those relationships with the likes of Noelle and Rebecca, they've probably been tested a little bit over the years in games.
Yeah, but I think it's positive, to be honest. Like, honestly, I'm nothing without the Rachels, the Noelles. You know, I can go to them with anything and everything, and we've been there for each other through, as I said, the times where we weren't winning things to the times. The biggest thing for us every year is we compete for everything, and that's a very proud thing, and that's the mindset we always want as a group. But no, I think it's always nice if you're pals, but I'm very much so like person first, and how people feel in the dressing room, we want them to feel part of it. Everybody is as important as each other. If you've, you know, played once, not played at all, or playing every week, that's really big for the environment we try to set in the dressing room. Obviously it's a little bit easier, you can have your little rants with your friends, But look, I'm nothing without, as I said, especially, you know, Rach as vice captain. She's been my rock really through the ups and the downs, and definitely nothing without her. And then Noelle as well. Obviously Noelle just loves the football stuff, and you will get a chat over here and there, and she will have the last 2 seasons she really, you know, you can get opinions out of her, where before she's probably just more football related, but let her, because she's special, so you'd be just like, you stick to football stuff, and everyone's a bit different, where Rachel is my go-to. She's, you know, and even Megan as of late, she's come into that role. And look, last year, obviously we won the double together. That year is very special, isn't it? Like, obviously having to win 2 in a row. And you get to share those memories, and you're looking back at the photos, and I remember there was a great photo down in Wexford of me, Rachel and Noelle. That was really nice, and you have those memories forever. You can look back on them. But even last year, like with the group, it's probably one of the proudest years I've had with a group of players. I know people probably think that's a bit mad because we didn't win anything, but obviously with everything that happened at the start of the season, you know, so much going on in the background, even the fact that we're competing, and you look back at the league, we're probably, if you look at 1 or 2 games, you think, oh, we've got 3 points there. As I said, look, I'm sure other teams would say that, and then you get to a cup final and alright, you know, penalties are penalties, and I'm a firm believer that someday it's just your day, as harsh as it is. Over the years I've just learned that you could be, you know, really good, and I just thought, look, the penalties, but very proud of the girls last year. You know, lots of new girls came in, a lot of stuff going on as well in the background, and the fact that we're still competing for both trophies was incredible. I was super proud of them.
This year feels, from the outside looking in, feels like another huge change, because went from all that experience with Noel and Joey to Owen and Rory, and like for you as the captain, Noel had been the manager for as long as he had and had that success. Is there a worry when the management team changes that, oh, are we still going to be able to, you know, compete at the top level?
No, I always believe in the group, I always believe in the club. I always feel like over the years we've lost big players to abroad, to England, to Scotland, and no matter who we lose or what happens, we're always there or thereabouts, and that's just what we try to create fairly early on, you know, in pre-season. Look, people can say Noel and Joey, in fairness to them, they've brought silverware back. We had, you know, when Noel came in, the standards were raised. He brought in the likes of Dave O'Connor, Joey, Kieran. We won 2 titles under him, 3 cup finals. I mean, that's a very successful period, and obviously the 2 lads then step away, and it's like the opposite, like they're finishing their career, and then the 2 lads are coming in, they're starting their career. And obviously I'd known Rory in his role at the academy. I'd met Owen once or twice, and very ambitious, young, organised, and for me as captain they've been a breath of fresh air, because I feel even early on since pre-season I can just focus now on being the captain and playing, and that's just true to their good detail, their organisation, their planning, their sessions are brilliant, their ideas, you can see with their formation, they're trying new stuff, and so I don't think you ever worry. They're 2 great lads, and you want to do well for them, like, and that's where I think we're probably a little bit frustrated at the moment, because we want to get them the results that we think we deserve, but still a long way to go. I've no doubt about it that we'll turn it around, like. So
we've gone full circle. We started talking about the game against Rovers on Saturday. We've come all the way back around to present day. Now it's the most important bit of this. Alright, it's your teammates. So I can't let you away with giving 2 or 3 answers. 1 person, that's it. That's all you get.
I'm usually brutal at this. Like, you know, I did one before League of Ireland, and I showed up to train the following week. I can't believe he didn't say me there. My mind just went blank, and I got it so wrong. So hopefully I do a little bit better on this.
Well, there'll be plenty of times for people to get back at you here with answers as well, so just keep that in mind. So, who's the quickest, pace-wise?
Who's the quickest? Oh, for our age, Gemma is a flyer.
You've started off now already.
No, but come here. I remember a few weeks ago in pre-season, right? Come here. She's one of the experienced ones with me. We've no doubt about it. She rocketed through box to box and screamed, you know, I'm 34, I've won this, you know, running by all the youngsters. Like, she's incredible. The speed of her. I'm trying to think of anyone else, but Gemma would be up there. Rebecca Devereux was obviously quick as well, but I think Gemma, when you let her get off, she's a flyer.
Who's the slowest?
Probably me. But thank God I'm a good mind. I can read well.
Who's the most intelligent?
Oh Jesus, most intelligent. That's a hard one. Some of the youngsters I'm sure are really intelligent, but I don't know how intelligent they are. Probably Jess Gargan, really good job, doing well, so I'll give it to Jess.
We used to ask least intelligent, but we're not allowed anymore. Darren Cleary banned that question.
Yeah, I'd be better for that one.
Who's a liability on a night out?
Oh, there's a few. Liability on a night out. Oh, I'm trying to look around the dressing room now in my mind. Liability on a night out. Oh, I'm trying to go through the team.
There has to be someone that you go, oh no, here we go, she's off.
Depends how many drink they have, so it's different levels, you know what I mean?
But who's at the extreme high end of liability?
Well, Rachel and Gemma are out because they're non-drinkers, so they're the easy ones to get rid of. Noelle can be. Jess Gargan as well, a bit of both.
So Noelle or Jess, can't let you away with two.
Oh, I'm trying to think of anyone else who's on her wings. Oh, Christy's a bit messy as well when she gets a bit drunk. Oh, I'll go away. When she's sunglasses drunk, I'll go Noelle.
I don't want to know.
She'll know what I mean by that.
Who looks at themselves in the mirror the most?
The first person that came to mind was Alex. She'll kill me, but
there you go. That's the best way. That first name that pops in, that's always the one. Who's the manager's pet? You can't say yourself, you're a captain.
I was just going to say, they'd probably say me.
No.
But manager's pet at the moment, under the new lads.
Yeah. Well, hang on, go back, because you obviously had somebody in mind from the previous staff.
No, I didn't, but I'm just trying to think. I'll go by this year.
Right, go with this one, yeah.
Manager's pet. These are hard. Manager's pet. Who's not really like.
That's alright, that's good. No, that's a solid one.
Manager's pet, I think.
That's alright, it's early.
All the little youngsters, they obviously, you know.
Yeah, well, that's fair.
But that's not an answer.
No.
No.
Give it a bit of time. Somebody, I'm sure, will slot into that role eventually. If a name comes to your mind before the end, don't be afraid to throw it in. Who's the angriest?
Oh. Me. Depends. There's a few of us. Monday night we play small sided games, and I tell you, there's no friends in that. We do be all bullying going home, but yeah, I'd say I'm very competitive in games and in training games as well.
Who's the funniest?
Alex Gas.
Who's the best trainer?
Best trainer?
If you're playing those small sided games, who do you want?
Maggie. Maggie's quality. Good trainer.
Is that work rate or just ability, everything?
Yeah, both.
So she's the first
I always
one.
look and you think, you have Maggie in your team, like, right.
We have a chance.
Yeah.
One staff member that you definitely beat in a game of head tennis.
Head tennis? All of them.
All of them?
All of them. No bother.
Oh, we're with that career behind them.
Yeah, true. I want to give you a good battle. Yeah, you would. Yeah.
So, Annie, you're saying any of them? You'd beat any of them?
I'd give them a good bash. We all would.
We'll have to get one's opinion on that one. Who's the worst trainer?
The worst trainer? Oh, that's a hard one, isn't it? Who's the worst trainer? It's a difficult one.
Well, we might come back to that at the end.
Yeah,
who do you not want to be stuck beside on the bus to Cork?
Who do I know?
Who do you not, like, is there somebody you could picture to sit beside you and you go, oh,
Megan.
Oh. Megan?
Shut up. I like my earphones in, you know, she always sits beside me, she does it. I can have me period with you, so she'll sit with me for a few minutes. She'll kill me for that.
Who's the best dressed?
Best dressed? Rach. Rachel's a lovely clobber.
Who was the worst dressed?
Worst dressed? You're gonna get me battered.
That's the point. See, we don't have to worry about the reaction to this in training, you do.
Worst dressed? Just not my style. Oh, this is hard. Megan. Go Megan again.
You have a penalty to save your life. Who do you want to take it?
Penalty to save my life. I'd go Alex.
Alex Kavanagh?
Yeah, I know well. Yeah.
No. Who are the ones we missed?
The pet.
Manager's pet. You have to give it to somebody. That worst trainer.
Worst trainer? That's a hard one. Worst trainer? Like, what's that mean? Just saunters around and...
Yeah, or just bad loser, or whatever pops into your head. You know, when I said worst trainer, what did you think of? What did you think on it?
Someone who just can't be arsed, bothered. We don't have many of them.
Bit, I'm trying to think of the word that's a bit more diplomatic. Not lazy, but a bit blasé. Lethargic. There's the teacher.
Everyone, like, we wouldn't have a group because we'd be very quickly to get on to them. I'm sure everyone certain nights, but.
Right, well then we'll change it. You trained last night, didn't you?
Trained last night, yeah.
Anyone you can think of there had a bit of a nightmare?
Last night?
Really proud of you for an answer.
Yeah, I know. Last night, Nadine actually had a nightmare last night. She was one of our outside players and killing us.
Just good fight for us.
Yeah. No, it's just
Manager's pet. Mum, we're nearly there.
Manager's
Nearly
pet.
there.
Everyone would say me naturally because I'm always chatting to them
but
and stuff.
I've said this here before, that's our job. You're the captain, that's what you're supposed to do.
Manager's pet. One of the young girls, I'd have to say, maybe.
Very diplomatic.
Probably harsh, yeah.
Very diplomatic. Pearl, thanks a million for giving up your evening. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
And best of luck on Saturday.
Thanks a million.
Thanks.